Everybody, what's going on? I'm just feeling a little lonely. Thought I would see if anybody wants to smoke a little bit of weed with me. So, you know, let's smoke a little weed. Cheers. Oh, yeah, that feels good. That feels real good. Oh, so I got a whole bunch of sativa I just harvested and a bunch more, and I don't even like sativa, so I'm gonna have a couple pounds of weed that I'm probably never gonna smoke. Oh, but that's okay. You do what you gotta do. Somebody's here. Who's here? Oh, they're gone. Okay, well, I don't blame them. There ain't nothing going on here, really. I'm just sitting here smoking weed. So I got a Planet Skunk Ape Auto regular growing. So yeah, we're gonna see if that's a female or not. And I've got a Susie Q regular photo growing. Again, we're gonna have to see if that's a female. And I'm trying to get some other stuff to pop. I got some stuff in dirt down there and it hasn't popped, so I put some more seeds in water today to get them going and see if I can get something going. Who's here? Tell me who's here. I'd like to know who's here. If there's somebody here, I don't know, just type your fucking handle or something. um I'm just curious who the hell is actually hanging out here. So yeah, I got that going on, and I'm trying to get these seeds to pop. I don't know if it's the wrong time of the moon or what, but I'm just not having great luck getting these seeds to pop. But we'll keep working at it. Oh, there's two people. I'd like to know who's here. Anybody want to tell me who's here? Okay, well, that's all right. Um, just hang out and smoke with me for a while. I mean, I've always found smoking to be a social thing, and it's hard to just keep doing it alone all the time. So it's nice to even do it virtually with some people online. I mean, like hell, you know. The old days we'd pass a joint around, and it was more social back then. Now everybody smokes alone and shit. I don't know. Hey, slow burner, at least you gave me your name. Let me know who's here. Nobody else is even telling me who's here. Good to see you, man. We're just hanging out and smoking, man. You know, I just did some hash the other day, some keef hash. Take a look at this. Um, Tumble hash. Use a tumbler with that dry ice. And look at all that blonde, beautiful, thick pile of hash there. It's very, very sweet. It's like three or four different strains mixed together that I tumbled and got this hash from, and I'm going to top this bowl off with it right now. So, that's what's great about having a buttload of hash around. You can just smoke it whenever you want. Oh, yes. So I'm trying to grow some strains that I got from friends a long time ago, and I didn't grow them because they were regulars, and I didn't want to deal with the whole, grow a buttload of them out and find out they're all males. But I've got enough weed now in reserve that I can afford to go through it a few times and try to get some females out of it. Got the new Puffco Peak Pro doing a dab with you. All right, yeah. I bought some wax about a week ago. I have a fucking press, and I swear to God, I wish I hadn't even wasted my money on it. I have never gotten shit out of that damn thing. I don't know if I'm using the wrong bags or the weed's too dry or what. I have just no luck at it. So I buy it when I want now and then. And I usually just put it on top of a bowl of weed. I mean, I also have a nail, that I use. But, yeah. Wow, there's 5 people in there. I just threw this thing on live just out of nowhere. I just felt like smoking with some people, man. Just, fuck, man. It used to be such a social thing when I was a young man. I mean, we'd go to concerts and people would pass them down the road, and everybody shared. And it was a social thing, man. You got together in the college dorm room and everybody passed them along. It was just more social back then. Now that it's legal, everybody just smokes along too much, I guess. So, hey, SABWF, smoke a bowl with me. Oh, you buy diamonds by the ounce for, ooh, that's a damn good price. Mm. Here's what it looks like when you put that hash on top of a bowl. That stuff will burn like a candle wax. It will literally flame and burn like candle wax. So that's 400 Canadian, which is even cheaper than, yeah, that's a pretty good deal, man. That's a pretty good price. I got some friends in Oklahoma and places like that where they offer me like really good deals on like ounces of rosin and all that, live rosin and all that stuff. But it's a long drive from here to Oklahoma. We're talking about 6, 7, 8, nah, probably about 9 hours to get to where they're at. So I'm just not really. I don't have enough need for it and enough market for it. So you know, I do the keef hash. People like it. I sell it cheap and everybody likes it. So it's pretty easy. I don't blow myself up with ether and CO2 and all that other shit. I'm so fucking dumbass. I'd fuck it all up. Oh yeah, UPS. Yeah, I know a lot of people mail order this stuff nowadays, man. I just don't get it because I know they can seize it anytime they want, and it could be a problem. But hey, it's getting more legal, so people are taking more chances. I've mailed some stuff before. I had one package seized, but other than that, I've never really had a problem getting it through as long as I could control the odor. You know. I did mail a package to a friend of mine in Florida, and I thought I had done a good job. I vacuum sealed everything. I thought and everything, but I had put a cigarette holder case full of joints in there, and I didn't wrap that in any kind of plastic or anything. I didn't think about it. He said when he got that package in Florida, he said I could smell it before I even opened it. I was like, oh shit. So yeah, you really gotta vacuum seal everything and then wipe it all down with alcohol, and then I know people that take that spray foam and they literally like make a case around everything with spray foam. Then they just break it open when they get it. So yeah. Yeah, man, I was a dumbass that day. I decided to fuck with the postal service, so I put John Galt as my name, and my return address was like 123 Main Street. I just fucked with them completely, and they seized that fucking package. Who's John Galt? Well, if you don't know that, then you didn't see the movie. But hey, I read the books anyway. So he was an anti-government character, so that was probably a stupid thing to put on. They probably have scanners looking for that name. Anyway, never said I got a high IQ, but never said I had a lot of common sense. Sometimes I do some stupid shit, man. Sometimes I do. So slow burner, I know you're here. There's 4 other people here. Can you just like type a period or something so I know who you are? I mean, come on. You don't have to type anything. Just type a period or something, man. I'd like to know who the hell's here. Oh, well, you don't have to. Smoke with me anyway. Everybody just fucking light up, man. It is so great having pounds of weed just laying around anytime I want it, man. I mean, it's just like fucking one of my dreams of heaven, when I was younger. Yeah. Yep, got my legal grow card. The government can kiss my ass. I hate paying them tax money to get the card, but, this way they can't fucking bust me or nothing, so. So I try to play by their silly rules, you know. Never thought it would be legal in my lifetime. I never thought we'd get here. Just been a long, strange trip, man. Been a long, fucking strange trip. Yeah. Had a lot of good friends go down for a lot of jail time for pot and all kinds of stuff in the old days, man. Hasn't been an easy journey for us weed smokers, man. Couldn't get a job because you couldn't fucking pass the piss test, so I had to pass a lot of great jobs up because I couldn't pass the fucking urine test, you know. Fuck. Yeah, they found plenty of ways to fuck with us, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh well, you know. There are 7 people here, and I only got one name of someone's here. Everybody, just hit a period, just so I know who the fuck's here. Come on, man. What are you like on run from the law or something? You know, just type a period. You know, want to know who I'm partying with. So, so my last auto I grew was a citrus pie. I got 8 ounces on that one, and then I grew a tattoo and sunset sativa photo, and I got 9.5 ounces out of that plant. And I've got another one growing in tent number one, and I've got 5 of those plants growing in tent number two. So I'm gonna have a shitload of this sativa, and sativa freaks my mind. I mean, it just burns my fucking high out, and I just get all jittery and fucking anxious and shit. So I mean, the only time I'll smoke it is if I got a real bad case of couch lock and there's something I got to do. You know, the other day I had a real bad case of couch lock. I couldn't fucking move. And I did a couple hits of this tattoo and sunset, and man, it just popped me right up. And I got up and did everything I had to do. But then I started feeling just a little jittery, so that was about all I could take of it, you know. It's weird. You know, all those years, all I ever got was indicas for the most part. I never really dealt with sativas much on the black market, and now that it's legal and you got all these strains and you're getting these hybrids, this is a 75% sativa, so it's not pure sativa, but there's not much of an indica overtone on it at all. And I left it in there 9 weeks in flower to try to get more of the indica tone to come out of it, and I don't think it was really successful because it's really a strong sativa. 7 people here. Okay, please, everybody just type a fucking period so I know who's here. Come on, man. That ain't asking too much. I like to know who I'm partying with, man, you know. Okay, you don't have to, I guess. I don't give a shit. Whatever. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. So I got this thing I've been trying to catch on for people. It's SABWM. You just type that in text or whatever. It just means smoke a bowl with me. And I think if we could get that to catch on, it would be a really, really cool thing because it's like, hey, I think we should all try to smoke with each other. So, SABWM. Cheers, everybody. So I got a question for y'all. How many out there are feeling exactly like I am and can't wait for this fucking year to be over with? This has been one of the crappiest years I've experienced in my entire life. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Health issues, just everything you can imagine, and just more piled on top of it. So I am absolutely ready to say goodbye to 2024. I am so ready to be done with this year. I don't know who else is. Tell me, are you ready for this fucking year to be done, this election to be over with, and all the fucking riots that are going to happen to be done and be done with this year? Because I'm not looking forward to this election. I'm not looking forward to whoever loses is going to be a sore loser. It doesn't fucking matter which side. So somebody's going to riot and we're going to have the National Guard and all this bullshit. I don't want to deal with it. I'm open. Hey, Keith and Chief, thank you for saying hello. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So, I'm actually concerned that, we could have some serious problems with, like, civil unrest. Let's just call it that after this election. So, I am ready for this year to be over with. I'm working on my health and trying to rebuild my strength. I'm going to the gym and all that kind of crap. And as far as the other emotional bullshit, I'm dealing with that too. I got help for that too. But this year needs to go. Keith, I appreciate it, man. I got like 9 people in there, and only 2 people have even even identified themselves. I just ask them to type a period or something, but nobody even wants to tell me who's here. So it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what. Anyway, whatever. So I'm ready for this year to be over with. I mean, as far as the weed grow's going, I had to like really like cut my weed grow down when I was dealing with recovery from surgery. So I let all my clones die out, and I had to like start over again. And I was still harvesting right after surgery, so yeah, it was kind of fucked up. But I kind of built a lull into the production line there because I was literally harvesting like every 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. I was pulling another, pound or 2 pounds of weed out of something. So now I kind of slowed everything down. I've got 2 strains growing right now: the Citrus Pie Auto and the Tattoo and Sunset. Again, a sativa that I won't smoke an ounce of in the next 20 years. So I do have a lot of clients, my medical clients, that do like sativas. So and they've always been bitchy because I never grow them because I used to have a rule: I don't grow shit I don't smoke. But I didn't know this was a 75% sativa when I started growing it. And then by the time I figured it out, I had like 14 cut clones of it, and I didn't have anything else in the bullpen. So guess what? We're growing it, and we're gonna have like pound and a half, 2 pounds of it by the time I'm done growing it out. Maybe 3 pounds. I don't know. So that'll take care of their sativa needs for the next few years or whatever. So going back to trying to grow some other strains that are more indica dominant. I listen, man. When I want to get high, I don't mean I want to get high like like I did Black Beauties last week, and I'm still feeling them. I have enough stress and shit in my life without weed adding anything to that. So sativas just really fuck me up. I can't do speed. Never been one that can do cocaine or any of those drugs because any stimulants just make me just nervous and jittery and I can't stand it. I just can't fucking stand it. So, I always gravitate toward the indicas, And so my clients are always like, yeah, man, but I need something I can smoke during the day. I need some sativa. I really, really need some sativa. I grew a little Maui Wow. I grew a little Amnesia Haze. But I didn't grow very much of it. And, I ran out of that pretty quick. So they'll be covered now, Cheers, lurkers. Yeah, there's 9 people in here. So, and I got 2 names up here. So there's like 7 people that, just send a smiley face or something. What the hell, I mean, God, I hope they're not all enemies or something. Fuck, hope I didn't piss that many people off out there. Shit. I had to kind of back away from this community for a while because, it just got full of drama and fucking people arguing and he said, she said, and fucking drama. I just had to, I was really big into it. Hey, what's going on, CSL? What's going on? Good to see somebody else identify. What's up? What's up? There's 10 people here. I can't believe it. I just threw this live on because I felt like smoking with somebody, and I just wanted to hang out with some people, and, I got like 807 subscribers, and I don't know probably even 1% of them, or 2% of them. So, it's kind of cool every now and then to hang out live with some people and party a little bit, and just, and talk about weed, man. I mean, I don't want to get too much into the politics thing. I don't care what your politics are. Whoever wins or loses this election, it's going to be a fiasco. It just doesn't matter anymore. We've gotten in the habit of challenging all these things and everybody screaming that it's fraud. So I'm not looking forward to this election. I think it's going to be a real problem, and so, hey, do a few basic things, man. Fill your gas tank up, put some cash in your pocket so if the fucking debit machines are down for some reason, you still got some money, Get your prescription drugs filled and shit, And, hey, if you got a gun, make sure it's fucking cleaned and ready and you got some fucking ammo. You don't know. I mean, just like if you had a fucking tornado and you had martial law or whatever, things can get bad really quick. Doesn't matter what causes it. Political unrest, hurricane, floods, Got to be prepared as much as you can. I mean. So just get your ass ready, Make sure you got, take a 50-gallon trash can, a clean one, and fill it up with some water, man. I mean, water could be a problem if something goes down there. Hackers get in, shut down the pumping stations. Who the fuck knows? Just don't count on shit always working. Every time you flip a light switch or you fucking turn on your AC or your furnace, just don't count on the fact that that's always going to be there, man, because, we've had some fucking ice storms and shit around here where it was down for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and no fucking heat. So, and that wasn't no big fucking political unrest. That wasn't, someone hacking the grid. That was just, a little fucking ice storm. So, yeah, man, I don't count on any of these utilities doing shit when the shit hits the fan, so. So, how many people out there are just type yes or no, man? Are you ready for this fucking year to be history? Because I think it's been a shitty year. Fucking inflation, prices are fucking out the ass. Nobody can afford to even fucking buy food anymore. And they're telling us, hey, it's all great. The economy's fucking doing great. Well, I don't think so. So, I'm ready for this year to be over. I am ready to put it to bed. And put a lot of things to bed. Just a lot of things that, need to be put away, So, that's where we're at, I mean, that's what's going on, Here's something a little weird. I got an electric bicycle. I got this thing because I needed something to get some exercise after the surgery and everything. And, I hate going to the gym and just sitting there pedaling, looking at a fucking TV screen or whatever. So I bought this thing on a lark, and it showed up like a day after I got home from surgery. And so a friend helped me build it, and then a couple of my friends actually bought some too, We go riding all the time now, and it's been a blast, It's something new to do. I got a motorcycle out there, 1100cc fucking motorcycle, so it's not like I don't have power or whatever the fuck I want. I don't always need power, man. It's nice to get out there. It's quiet. Things got power, pulls you right up a fucking hill like you're Superman. And you can do I can do 60-mile rides and I go home, I'm not even sweating, I'm pedaling the whole time, but I'm not sweating or nothing. It's been a lot of fun. They're really catching on, man. They're selling like hotcakes all over the world, and they're really starting to be a thing. So that's something new going on, Getting back into playing music again. I'm starting to work on my drum chops again from years and years of sitting around doing nothing. Planning on hooking up with some musicians and, trying to make some music again before I die. So, that's something I'm planning for 2025. I'm working on getting my chops back now. And it's not easy. Being a drummer, if you give yourself a decade of not playing, it's hard to come back. And then next year, I hope to start hooking up with some musicians again, Gotta have fun when you can, guys, man. Life is going fast, and, you gotta grab some fun when you can. So I used to love playing music, man, in bars and shit, and so something I want to get back into again. So that's something else going on right now. And, I don't know. That's about all that's going on. There's 12 people in here right now. I can't believe it. That's really cool, man. Well, even if you don't want to tell me who you are, you're welcome. I'm glad you're here. Think of this like an old-fashioned drum circle, except it's a smoke circle. And cheers. Smoke a bowl with me, folks. Come on, man. Party with me, man. That's here. Let's do it. I really, really fucking love marijuana. I have literally 19 different strains and varieties of marijuana over here to my left to choose from. There's 14 people in there. You got to be fucking kidding me. I can't believe this. Oh my God, that's wild. Well, I hope they're all friendly. I hope nobody's in here trolling me or whatever. I ain't seen nothing yet, but you never fucking know. Yeah, I had to get out of the community for quite a while because it just got too much drama and shit going on. People misunderstood things I said, and then they said shit back, and yeah, fuck it, man. I felt like I was back in junior high again. I'm like, man, I don't need this shit. I got all the weed I need. I don't need to put up with this crap. So I got out of it for a while. Didn't do a lot of lies. Didn't. Bear grows. Hey, 13 people in here. Oh wow, that's fucking cool. Oh man, I have 19 or 20 different strains of pot over here, and the biggest problem sometimes, I know this sucks, is trying to figure out which one I'm gonna smoke next. Seriously, I mean seriously. Um, fuck. Let's do some of this citrus pie. This is one of the last ones I just harvested. Good old fucking weed. Got a great smell to it, man. I mean, yeah, this came out pretty good. 8 ounces on an auto sitting by itself in the corner of my basement with no tin or nothing, man. I think that's pretty fucking good. So yeah, it came out all right. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this citrus pie. I've been smoking this stuff and I really don't know its lineage too well. And I swear to God, I detected some sativa in it because I'm real sensitive to sativa. So it could be a 50-50 hybrid or something. The way that it's definitely got indica punch, but I think there's some sativa undertones that have a way of sneaking up. I just started a grow channel. Oh, cool. Funny story about how I started my YouTube channel. Okay, here's what the story is. I started growing and I started doing videos so I could track the progress of my growing and my plants, right? And I found that I was quickly running out of space on my phone to store said videos. Yeah, back in junior high, yeah. So I thought to myself, well, you know what? I could throw these things out on YouTube as a channel, and they could store them. I wasn't thinking anybody would ever watch any of them. And I guess I forgot to put them on private or whatever the fuck you're supposed to do. So they went out public, and all of a sudden people started watching them, and I'm like, really? Because I'm no Bill Ward, and I'm no personality or anything, so I didn't really expect anybody to watch them. And I'm not the world's greatest grower, and by any means. I mean, fuck, man. I'm a pretty basic grower. I found what works for me, and I just stick with it. I mean, I've tried hydroponics. I tried all the different shit. I'm back to just dirt and seeds and light and feed. So I just started putting them out on YouTube because I didn't have any way to store them. And I looked back the other day, and my first video showed up in my feed, and it said 4 years ago. So I've been doing these videos for 4 years. The first video still had purple lights. That's how old they were, okay? Yeah, yeah, there you go, bag beans, yeah. Oh my God, I threw out just fucking Ziploc bags full of fucking beans because I'm like, I didn't know what they were from, and they weren't. I didn't know they were films and that. When I first started growing, I wanted to make sure that everything I grew was a film, and I knew what its lineage was, and I knew what I was going to get. But now I'm playing around with a lot of seeds that I've gotten from friends that were, tester growers, and I got some seeds that came out of one of my grows outside that are crosses of whatever was outside that year. And I'm going to start experimenting with some of them because they could be some really incredible strains. I ended up accidentally crossing two of Harley Grower's strains and came up with Carmen Miranda Rose, and I swear to God, it is a fucking killer strain. It's spicy, it's sweet, it's strong, it's yeah. So yeah, and that was an accident. Didn't plan it at all. Total fucking accident. So yeah. I mean, bag means shit. I can remember when I had one of those fluorescent like towers that you stuck in your claws that had these loop U-shaped bulbs in them with these sliding plastic panels. Looked like something out of a spaceship, right? And you were supposed to grow a pot plant in there, and it was a fucking disaster. There wasn't enough light there to grow a fucking weed. So, I tried that. And fucking closet would get to like 110 degrees or some shit. Oh, God. Oh, the shit we tried to do back then. Now I go out and, spend 4 or 5 grand on lights and tents and shit, and yeah, it works. 16 people in here? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? Wow, that's actually impressive. I wish everybody would just type a period so I know who the hell you are. Now there's 14 people in here. That's really well. I'm flattered, guys. I mean, I didn't think anybody would actually show up. Just bought a spider farmer. Yeah, I've got spider farmers. I got Mars Hydro 4800s. I've got spider farmers. I've got some generic flat-board lights. I've got all kinds of lights down there, man. At one time, I figured out I had 24,000 watts of light burning. Yeah, that's my girlfriend in the window there. That's Lady Di. She helps me out with a lot of my edibles and stuff, man. Today I made coconut oil or THC oil, and I made 2 pounds of butter. So that's just so we can keep going with our edibles. Yeah, I'm making chocolates and gummies that, like, literally most people can only do one of them. They're small. I do 2 or 3 at a time because I'm a fucking stoner, and they knock me on my ass. I just did 2 of those chocolates about an hour ago, and my ears are ringing like a fucking church bell right now. There are 15 people in this room right now. I am so fucking cool. That is so fucking cool, guys. So it's time to smoke again. So if you got it, smoke it. If you don't, I'm sorry. I really am, man, because fuck, I'd send it to you if I could. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, it's 4:20 somewhere, man. Well, yeah. Listen, I literally have an alarm set on my watch for 4:20 every day, just to make sure I don't miss that particular time of the day. So, yeah. Well, that citrus pie has really got a good flavor to it, man. It's real citrusy, and it's got this like pine in the background. I think I want to call it a pine in the background to it. Not fucking bad at all. And it's got a good buzz to it. So yeah, yeah. There's a couple of things I still want to grow that I've never gotten around to yet because I haven't found a good seed for them yet. I'd like to try to grow some chocolate strains, just because I really think that I have a lot of female patients that are on my medical client list. I think they would enjoy a pot product, that has a chocolate flavor, and even using it for my edibles and that. I think that would be good. You ever grow any variant of cheese? Well, funny you mentioned that. I just popped some grape cheese, auto regular from East Coast Agnes. I can't get them to pop yet, but I got some more soaking right now. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. I think I have smoked the cheese variant once before, and I wasn't a huge fan of the flavor. But with the grape in there, because I'm a real big purple grape fan. I mean, I just grew a buttload of grape strains out from Greenpoint Seeds. I think I grew like 9 or 10 different of their purple variants. So I'm a big fan of anything that they can mix a little purple in there, a little grape in there. So maybe the grape cheese will be like eating a hunk of cheese and eating grapes. Maybe that will be pretty cool. Maybe it'll be all right. So we're going to see if I can get it to grow. Again, these are auto regulars. So I'm going to have to grow 2 or 3 of them out to be sure that I even got a female, by the time they grow out and all that shit. So yeah, that to answer your question, I haven't grown any that were. I may have grown some that had some cheese in their background and it just wasn't obvious in the name, and I didn't go that far back in their lineage. But I haven't really grown anything that I've noticed that particular flavor or terpene in anything I've grown yet. So the grape cheese will be my first really attempt at it. And it's a tester seed, so it's an auto regular. Um, this citrus pie was strange, okay? I've never seen a plant grow like this, and the fact that I've grown 2 of them now and they both did the same thing was interesting. The middle branch, the one that normally gets the big tall top on it, is very anemic on this plant, on this citrus pie. It only grows about maybe 6 inches, and it's done. And it grows 2 main stalks that literally take the place of that center branch. And both plants did exactly the same thing. I have Purple City Genetics clones going. Okay, I'm not familiar with their stuff. But Greenpoint Seed, that's all they were doing was mixing purple with anything. Purple with dog shit. Everything was purple, purple, purple. So I got a bunch of their seeds. I still got a bunch of their seeds, and I can grow all this stuff. I got stuff like purple banana cookies over here, banana fruit cake, purple crunch, purple dream. Um, that's just to name a few of their purple strains. Purple dream, yeah. So that's just a few of their purple strains over there, that I've grown out. So why don't you all tell me something you're growing or smoking that you like? Maybe I can get somebody else to talk a little bit if we can open this up a little bit, I want to try to grow some chocolate strains, and I really want to try to grow some really, really strong big bud indica dominance. I'm looking like Bruce Banner maybe or something like that. Something like, I don't know. But what are you all smoking that you like or don't like, and what are you growing that you like, and are you all growers? I don't know if you're all. I can't be sure that everybody in here is a grower. That's kind of presumptuous. But I will tell you this. Interestingly enough, a large percentage of my subscribers are actually growers, and I think that's because my channel's so fucking boring that if you're really not into growing, you would never watch me. I'm not like gonna entertain you or dazzle you or sell you merch or nothing. It's just me talking about growing fucking different kinds of weed and showing you the different fuck ups and how I did things wrong and right. So it's not a great channel to watch. I'm amazed when I get 100, 200 views on a video. It kind of blows me away still because I used to watch a lot of grow videos when I first started growing. I watched Bill Ward and what was that other guy? It was a black guy that was like always, he was funny, man. He was really funny, and he was a more right grower. He wasn't like in Bill Ward's category or nothing. And I used to watch Bill Ward religiously. But once I really got down to where I was growing the way I wanted to grow, and it was working, I just don't really spend as much time watching grow videos anymore. I just don't. They were great when I was learning. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well that is amazing because it's all algorithms. You're a grower, you're a grow channel, so I am too. So they shovel me into your feed. That's interesting. That's really interesting because somewhere out there's 807 people subbed up to this channel, and after my surgery, there was like a month went by I didn't do any videos at all. So it was kind of a slow time then, but so yeah, that's how I started the channel, and and it's kind of fun to go back and look at. Used to grow my places if I got tired of bugs. Yeah, well, that could be an issue. Those little fucking gnats can be a pain in the ass. I never had any problems with anything else but those fucking gnats. And I've done the fly strips, and I've done natural fucking shit. I've tried predator stuff. Yeah. they can be a problem. You know, if you can get them under control, you'll be all right. But it's sometimes hard to get those fuckers under control. Trying to subscribe to all growers with this channel. Well, there's a 12 or 11 or 12 people. Hey, slow by. That's amazing. You know, I mean, that's really cool. You know, and it's just, you know, it's been a long, strange trip, man. Because like, it was so bizarre, man. I got on Amazon and ordered tents and lights and fans and filters and a water filtration system, you know, and all that stuff. You know, just got the credit card out, just burned that fucking credit card. And then I just started watching all the videos I could out there. And my first seeds came from, and you all know this place, and you all probably bought from him. I love growing marijuana, ILGM. That's where my first seeds came from. And right out of the box, I tried to grow like 12 strains at the same time. I had like 5-gallon pots all over these tents, and they were all different strains. It was a fucking nightmare. But yeah, ILGM. I mean, if you've been in this shit for any period of time and you haven't at least heard of them or bought seeds from them, I don't know how that's possible. Because that guy was literally the first big seed bank that advertised that got me. Yeah. I mean, I still got a bunch of their seeds left now. They're 4 years old now, so I don't know if the chances of them popping are very good, but I still got some of their seeds left, you know. And they were the first company that I could figure out how to buy them from. You know, I had to use Bitcoin, I think, even. You know, it's like, I had no idea how to do Bitcoin. I had to go out and set up a wallet and do all that bullshit, you know, buy Bitcoin and all that shit. But, ILGM, man, that was like literally the first seed bank that I ever bought anything from. Went from 0 to 104 months. Wow. Wow. That's a good growth, man. That really is, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long, strange trip doing this channel, you know. And every once in a while, I do a live like this, just you know, sometimes it's to talk about a particular strain or you know something I'm growing, or sometimes it's just you know, like hang out, you know, and talk about weed, but you know, more importantly, smoke weed with people, you know. I always liked that huddling together, like in the college dorm room or in the fucking, you know, basement of somebody's house, you know, and, you know, you got everybody huddled together, got the candle there, you know, and you're passing the joint around or passing the ball around. It was a social thing back then. It was much more, everybody had to worry about getting busted, so you were all in it together, you know, you were all kind of like, you know, like skirting the law together, you know, you're all outlaws back then, man. In Missouri, in the 80s and 90s, you know, an ounce of marijuana could get you some serious, serious jail time. And I'm not kidding about that. I mean, serious fucking jail time. So, you know, people were paranoid as shit, you know. I mean, it was constantly, you know, just, yeah. It was good and bad. There were some good parts about it and bad parts about it. But I've seen a lot, you know, in that time. I've seen a lot of differences in marijuana. You know, back when I started smoking marijuana, there was no names and strains. You got weed. You know, the guy called you up and said, "Kyle, we've been smoking since I was 12." Yeah, I started when I was 18. I started a little late, but back then, you know, you got weed. Now I'm in Missouri, you know, in the Midwest. We're not in California where you guys were growing all the exotic shit. Every once in a while, we would get this exotic shit called sensimilla, which I learned was Mexican or Spanish for without seed, right? Because the stuff we were getting was Mexican brown with seeds. Okay, that's what we got. And we paid out the ass for it. And we were, you know, the guy never called me up and said, "Hey, I got all these different strains. What would you like?" I wouldn't know what to say. I would have thought he was pulling my fucking leg. So it was like, it always went like this: "I got it. Do you want it? Okay, I'll meet you at midnight. Boom, pay for it." You didn't know what it was. Yeah, it wasn't great weed. Well, it wasn't great weed, dude. Seriously. Compared to the stuff I'm growing now, this shit was definitely not great. It got you high, but you had to smoke about quite a bit of it, you know, to really do anything, you know. And so, you know, when when it started getting legal in Missouri, and I started reading up on all these strains that were available, and the different hybrids, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then I read about this thing called autos, man. I'm like, are you serious? They don't even give a fuck how much light they get. They just change on their own. You can grow them in the corner of your living room. And then I learned about the fact that you could get feminized seeds, so you didn't have to worry about taking the lottery on, did I just spend 6 weeks growing a male? You know? So you guys have no idea how well you've got it now compared to what it was back in the old days, man. It was just, and there was no edibles, man. Edibles might have been somebody made brownies, and back then nobody knew how to make brownies. Okay, I swear to God, they would literally grind up the weed and stick it in with the mix. I'm not making this up. And you would eat these brownies, and it would be like chewing sand. It'd be so gritty you couldn't fucking believe it. And it didn't do anything. They didn't know anything about making butter out of it, or decarboxylating it. All they didn't know anything about that stuff. They didn't do any of that stuff. Like, they didn't know anything about that back then. So, now, I make the butters, I make the oils, I decarb them before I do it. We use top quality bottom bud for it all. We're not using fucking leaves and shit like they did back then. So my edibles kick ass, man. Cookies, brownies, Rice Krispie treats, chocolates, gummies. You fucking name it, man. They kick butt, man. They really do. I bought a chocolate bar at a dispensary one time, and I swear to God, it was garbage, man. I ate the whole fucking thing, and I hardly got a buzz at all off of it, man. If I ate one of my whole candy bars, I would be fucking comatose. You'd have to pour me into bed. So that's what's great about making your own. You don't have to worry about making state limits or whatever the fuck. I don't care. I think the state's got a limit that each dosage, which is like might be a square of the candy bar, can only be 10 milligrams or less. So if you got a 10 square candy bar, the most it could be is 100 milligrams. And for people like you and I, we can eat that. We can eat that. And we're okay. So I can make mine as strong as I want. I have 80-year-old patients who use my edibles to sleep at night and to deal with arthritis pain and stuff like that, and they tell me it works better than any of the medications that their doctors give them. So that's a great feeling right there. That makes it worth it for me, because it's not just all about getting fucked up, which it is for me anyway. But I know it helps my health. I know it makes me a lot healthier, and I know it helps me deal with stress and anxiety. Without it, I probably would have blown my fucking brains out years ago. So, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. So I'm ready for this year to be done. I really can't say enough about that, and luckily we're getting to the tail end of it now. It's like 85 degrees outside right now. We got the windows open. It's actually hot in here right now. Weird day. The wind was like 50, 60 miles an hour all day. And it was like 70 at like 6 a.m. So the weather was weird today. Maybe that's got me in a weird mood. I don't know. So, yeah, I like the edibles. I do a lot of them myself. And the hash, the keef hash, that's a big plus too, So, it's all stuff you can make out of your trim. Stuff you can utilize and get something out of it, Oh, God. It's almost been 50 minutes. There's 10 people in here and only one person talking with me, Can anybody want to talk or... Oh God, this can't be entertaining to just sit and watch this, I was growing in 115 this summer. Shit was brutal. Oh yeah, I tried to grow outdoors again this year, and you know what? I gave up on it. I ripped it all out of the ground. Legally, I'm not supposed to be growing outdoors with my license, so got a little paranoid about it, and the plants weren't coming out that great anyway. So I thought, you know what, I don't really need it. It was a pain in the ass dealing with them outside, so I just stuck with what I had going inside. You know, it's just too much. Thank you. So yeah, we made butter today. So it's weird. We start out with 2 pounds of butter. We ended up with a pound and a half by the time I strain it and everything. I will. I'll check it out, Bear. I will. I'll check it out. Definitely. Um, yeah, brutal. It was brutal this year growing outdoors. You know, if you didn't have a way of giving them lots of water and some way of even screening them some days, they got burned up pretty bad this year. I know a lot of people lost their crops this year. Yeah. There's just so many variables when you're growing outdoors. Indoors, I can control everything, you know, even the pest situation. Outdoors, I'm at the mercy of nature. I've had plants get pollinated outside, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, some guy half a mile from here is growing fucking males out in his backyard, you know, and I got no control over that. Next thing you know, my shit's got seeds, you know, so, and I can't do anything with that. I mean, I'll smoke it, I'll clean it up and smoke it, but, you know, my patients aren't going to want that. You know, I can't put that on them, so. Indoors, I can control everything. I know, you know, when they're getting watered, how much feed I'm giving them. You know, it's just, you know, and I'm able to grow. I got 3 taps. I'm able to grow plenty of weed. I was actually averaging about 2 pounds a month, rotating crops just nonstop for a while there. You know, and that's a lot for me anyway. You know. I can't grow in pots, ground only. Well, I'm actually growing in these 100-gallon fabric pots in my tent. So it's literally like growing in a garden. If you look at my videos, you'll see that I literally have these 100-gallon, they look like small swimming pools. And they're full of dirt. So yeah, I used to grow in the 5-gallon pots and all that shit. And I still grow some stuff out in the 1-gallon pot now and then when I got no room for it. But for the most part, even my autos, I'm growing those out in like, I think they're like 30 or 40-gallon pots, you know. Oh, dude. Oh, literally, I was dropping 3 to 5 bills a month buying before I started growing. Now, just think about that. That's like a fucking nice car payment. You know what I'm saying to you? And I figured out one time, I did some math, you know. I probably spent close to a $500,000 on weed in my life. You know, I mean, it's really hard to admit that, but just doing the averaging math, it could be close to that easy. And now I've literally got jars. I mean, you can't. Well, let's see if you can see it over here. Here's my wheel of weed. This is all different strains of weed here. And then on the floor, I think I got another 9 strains on the floor in jars, you know. And so I got all the variety I want. I never get bored because I can just, you know, choose whatever I want and smoke it, you know. And then I got hash to top it with. So, yeah, I mean, once I was able to like kiss my provider goodbye, you know, I mean, man, I was dropping some serious cash, you know, and I didn't have it. I mean, I did. You always make it if you have to, but it was really straining my budget to come up with that. And I couldn't smoke as much as I wanted. You know, I mean, I had to watch what I did. I can smoke as much as I want. If I smoke an ounce in a week, if I smoke an ounce in 2 days, who gives a shit, you know? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to do that math. Seriously, man, you don't want to do that math. The only time I tried to quit in all those years was one time when I just got so fucking tired of being broke and paying for it. I said, you know, I'm going to try to quit. And it sucked. It was miserable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been smoking since 1980. So 42 years, man. Oh, yeah, yeah. So it really did add up. And I've only been growing my own and not paying for it for the last 4 years of that. Prior to that, it was every month, you know, just empty the wallet out. So, yeah, it's saving me easily $7,000 to $10,000 a year in not buying weed. So my original investment to get started was about $3,000 for the original equipment and seeds and stuff. And then I spent another, I'm gonna say another $2,000 along the way in buying better lights and shit like that. And I got my return on that investment in the first 6 months of me not paying for it. So that's a pretty quick return on your investment right there. You just got to get enough to where you're not having to buy it anymore. And I can smoke a lot of weed, and my girlfriend, she's a pretty good smoker too. And I got a stepson, I take care of him too, and he likes his weed too. So yeah, I mean, I can go through some weed, but it's not a problem when I've got literally cat litter buckets full of weed downstairs because I couldn't find jars big enough for it all. So, that's when things are going okay, and you don't have to worry too much about it anymore. And then you can kind of kick back and start growing more exotic strains and, experimenting with regulars, and maybe fuck around with some breeding on your own if you want, or you can kind of once that pressure's off, that, oh my God, I got to grow weed because I'm going to run out. I got to grow weed because I'm running out. I'm running out. Once you've got, 2, 3, 4 pounds booked away, that pressure's gone for a while. You can kind of slow down and grow some different strains and experiment a little bit. That's kind of the phase I'm in right now. That first 4 years was all about growing a lot of weed, as much as I could grow indoors in the space I had, as fast as I could. And then once I went through the surgery and I had to literally cut the production line for a while and literally let the stuff come through the pipeline and chop it and then not have anything to replace it for a while, it gave me a chance to back up and realize that, you don't have to be on that wheel anymore. You're covered for now. And you can I retired one of my tents because the zipper broke on it, and I can't get anybody to come out and repair it on site. And it's got a 100-gallon pot full of dirt on the floor of it, so I can't move it, can't take it down. So I'm down to 2 tents and my auto area that I grow on the other side of the garage, and the other side of the basement. So I can grow 2 or 3 big autos over there while I'm growing veg plants to go in the tent area over there. And that's keeping me with plenty of weed. And I'm saving electricity because that third tent was running about 7,000 watts of light, and they're not running that anymore. So saving a little bit on the electricity bill, which is still a big consideration. Try to keep that bill down. So cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. I'm going to tell you, man, one of the things I did, Bear, when I first got into this thing, I bought all the expensive fucking fertilizers. I spent thousands of dollars on these bottles of shit. I'm using this shit called Master Blend now. It's a 3-part dry formula shit, okay? And it's cheaper than snot. And you can use it through the whole growth cycle. You can mix it, evenly, or you can mix more magnesium during the flower and more nitrogen during the veg. You can do whatever you want with it because it's a 3-part dry formula. It's dirt cheap. It works great. My plants are happy with it, and I think I paid like $30 or $40 for the 3-part kit. And I'm still using it. I've been using it for probably a year now. I'm still using it. So I'm just using soil, and I'm using this Master Blend dry fertilizers. You mix it in a bubbler bucket, with the air filter and all that shit in there, air bubbler. So I mix it in there. And I got my meter and I check my parts per million and all that shit. And that's what I use for fertilizer. And I'm telling you what, man, I used to do all that shit where, oh, you got to mix 3 grams of this and 10 cc's of this. Oh, but it's in the flower cycle, so now you got to make. Man, I went through all that shit, man. Advanced Nutrients was the one, man. I had like 12 fucking bottles of shit there, and I felt like I was in a chemistry lab trying to make the formulas for whatever week I was in. And somebody, one of my subs or whatever, texted me on a comment and said, dude, stop, man. You're paying out the ass for that shit. Just get this Master Blend off Amazon. And, dude, it's saved me hundreds and hundreds of dollars in fertilizer since then. So, yeah, I mean, it was really cool. I just love that. Just love it. So, that's the kind of stuff I learned, man. I mean, I went out and bought the latest, greatest nutrients formulas, came in these big old boxes with all these different formulations, and oh, you had to mix it this way for week 1 through 7 and 7 through 14. You mix this kind, and dude, nature doesn't do shit that way, so I don't have to do it either, man. So just get this Master Blend shit. It's really easy to use, man. It's dirt cheap, and you can get it off Amazon and get you a meter and just, get you a bucket with a fucking air stone in it and a pump. And there's your fertilizer. Keep that bubbling all the time, and whenever you need to feed your plants, just throw that shit on them. Hey, Fazoli, man, I'm growing some of your seeds right now, and I'm trying to grow some of your seeds right now, man. Finally getting around to some of those regs that I got from you guys back then. So, trying to get the Cherry West to grow, and I think that was one of yours. And let's see, what else did I try to grow of yours? There's a couple other ones of yours I'm trying to get to grow right now. So, So seriously, man, good to see you again, man. I appreciate it. You gave me so many seeds too, which is great because I'm having a hell of a time getting shit to pop these days. But yeah, so I'm going back and growing some of that stuff that you sent me. You sent me the GG4. You sent me the Cherry West. You sent me two other ones too. And man, I'm gonna start growing all that stuff out. Oh man, that Cherry West, it just sounded delicious from your description. And I got a bunch of them to pop tails, but they just didn't pop the surface. So I got some more soaking. I'll get them to go. Maybe the wrong time of the moon, who knows? But yeah, man, I'm going back. I got a couple of them growing from SOS. I got one growing from SOS, Suzy Q. And I got a couple growing from East Coast. And then I got a couple, two or three from you, I think, growing or popped right now, trying to get them to pop. So I can't wait to grow them out and compare notes with you, man. That's awesome. That is really cool, man. I was just saying, it's been 4 years now since I've been doing this video channel. 4 years since I've been back in the purple light days and all that shit, man. It's been a long, strange fucking trip, dude. Yep. Right now, I think I'm smoking. I am smoking the citrus pie right now. So there's 8 people in here right now, and nobody's talking to me except Bear and Fazoli. So hey, I appreciate it. But the rest of you can at least smoke a bowl, with me. SABWM. Smoke a bowl with me. Popping the cherries, I can really think about that in a couple of different ways there, Fazoli. Dating some young girls. Oh, fuck. Oh, oh, man. This has been fun, guys. I mean, even though most people aren't talking, it's just kind of cool. There's been like 15 people in here at a time, just hanging out and I hope they're smoking and, hope they're having some fun here. I don't know. Oh, fuck. Well, this citrus pie hasn't cured that much yet. It's still, I guess it's probably 2 or 3 weeks in the jar now. So it's, it's not as smooth as it will be, but that's okay. It still does the job. There you go, Bear. And yeah, I I just like to smoke and know that other people are partying too. It's just part of the whole fucking thing for me. Kind of like you don't want to drink alone. I just always like to have a bunch of people around when I'm partying. One person's growing them out, and lemon lime was more of the profile guy with it, not cherry. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if we'll get the same results. We'll get the same phenotype from it. But hey, lemon lime's cool with me too. I like all the fruity flavors, the cherries, the grapes, the lemon, the limes, the orange. Oh, I just popped some Orange Monkey Auto regular from East Coast. I don't know if that's going to come out or not. And grape cheese. That's another one I'm trying to get to pop. It's an auto regular. And I got the Cherry West. And I got Purple Unicorn. That was from you too, wasn't it, Fazoli? Purple Unicorn? That was yours. And what was the other one? Well, you know what? I used to play poker in the old days with my buddies. We used to get together and play poker, but I just have never had a place where I could do that anymore. So yeah, online might work. Purple Unicorn. Yeah, I got that popped. I'm trying to get that one to grow. What else did I have? Let me take a look at this again. I'm trying to remember what else I got popped over here, or trying to pop over here. Panther Piss. I think that was from. That wasn't from you, was it? I think that was from Harley, but I could be wrong. Panther Piss. I can't remember who got that one. I don't think that was yours, though. Yeah. Let's see here. We got grape cheese. Cherry West. Let's see here. Orange Monkey. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Purple Unicorn, and I've also got from Greenpoint Seeds, I've got a purple Bubba Kush photo film over there that I got soaking. And I grew it out once before, but I grew a small plant of it, and I didn't really get a big yield out of it. And I want to get a big yield out of it because I like the Bubba Kush. It's a good strong indica usually. So yeah, that's the 5 or 6 I got over there soaking right now, trying to get them to pop. And I got a Susie Q that popped the soil from SOS. Again, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You sent me Bubba, Purple Unicorn, GG, and Cherry West. Each crossed to Cherry West. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you did say, okay, yeah. So I'm going to try to grow some of these out. Again, I was just saying, I've got so much put away now that I can afford to go back and deal with some of the regs and that. Because, when you're trying to get massive production, the last thing you need is a male to grow after 6 weeks and go, oh, fuck, I got to start over again. Now I've got the luxury of just being able to grow regs out, and see if any of them are females or not, and then clone them after that, So, like once I get your strains to grow out female, I'll clone them, and then I'll work with them for a while. I like to grow them out for a while and see what different phenotypes I get out of different, clones from different plants, and stuff like that. So, yeah, now I got the luxury of time, man. I've got the luxury of time to just like all winter long, just like fuck with these strains and play with them and grow them and cull out the males, and all that good stuff. So, you can't really call yourself a grower if all you do is grow autos, films, and photo films, and you gotta fuck with the regs. You gotta play with the good stuff, and then cull your males out. They're easy enough to identify. You just gotta look at them. Okay, send me yes. Yeah, I'll check it out, man. That'd be kind of fun, man. Doing some online poker with you guys. That'd be great. That'd be great. We could party while we do it, for sure. Again, it's fake money, so that's the best kind because that's about all I got. Oh, Lordy. So, there's 8 people in here. I hope you're having a good time. I don't imagine, but hey, everything works for a purpose. I always wonder if it's like people, hey, Green Queen 420. All right, we got another name. Hey, cheers. Thank you for saying hello. We appreciate you saying hello. That's great. So cheers. Everybody light up and be happy. Join us in a celebration. That's an old song. I always wanted somebody to do one of those like K-Tel record collections, where they used to put like a variety of songs on an album. I would like someone to do like one of those K-Tel collections of all songs about weed. There's like 100 different songs out there about weed, over the years. And I think that'd be a great collection to have. We get together and stream your own bullshit for a few hours. Hey, sounds good. Ben Stone Productions, 710, welcome. Welcome to the party. We're partying here. That's what we're doing. That's exactly what the fuck we're doing. Most of us got bongs, or we got joints, or we got pipes, or we got fucking vape nails. We've got whatever the fuck we need. And it's still legal in most of our states to do this in America. Thank God, finally. Cheers again, man. So yeah, I made butter and oil today so we can make more gummies, more chocolate, more. I put so much oil in the chocolate that literally, if you take it out of the fridge and you lay it in the palm of your hand, it starts melting instantly because there's so much oil in it that it literally is like at the melting point instantaneously. It melts in your mouth kind of like a Dove chocolate kind of thing. It's got that creamy, oily kind of consistency. And man, these are little half moon chocolates. They're tiny. They're really tiny. And one of them will just knock most people on their ass. So, I used to make 1-inch square ones and people were like getting fucked up, couldn't walk, and calling me on the phone and, telling me they couldn't find their keys and shit. So I had to cut them down a little bit. Didn't want to make them weaker, so I just made them smaller. And what I do with that is like instead of 12 for $20, they get 18 for $20. But they're smaller, so it all works out, and they get more dosage. So got my Deacon Dave T-shirt here. They were available for sale a long time ago. Nobody ever bought any, but hey, they were available. Oh, yeah. So, what is everybody growing that they're excited about, man? I mean, like I said, I'd like to try to grow some chocolate strains. If somebody could really recommend a good one that's indica dominant and the seeds are available somewhere, I'd like to try that. If anybody's got anything they can tell me about that one. And then, I don't know, man. For a while I was growing some of the old school stuff like Acapulco Gold and Panama Red and Maui Wowie and stuff like that, just because it was like a nostalgia thing for me. Okay, Fortune Cookies from Humboldt Seed. That's a good chocolate strain. Okay, we'll check that one out. I know Humboldt Seed stuff is good. I've never bought from them, but yeah, they're well known in the industry. So, okay, Fortune Cookies. That sounds interesting. So, I was growing all those old school strains out, and a lot of my clients are older, and they remembered all those names, but a lot of the younger ones are like, what the fuck is Panama Red, So, I went through that phase for a while. I've grown the Northern Lights, the Gorilla Glue, the White Widow. I mean, I've grown all the standard ones, I think, for the most. Just like, most of the major ones out there that I'm not saying I grew them all, but I mean, the major strains that were popular when I started growing, I've grown most of them, or some variant of them, Russet mites, nothing coming down for a while, but a lot of seeds going in veg. Oh, wow. Fucking mites, man. Those things suck. I've never gotten mites. Like I said, the only thing I've ever had to deal with was those gnats, those fucking swarming gnats. And I used pest strips and stuff like that to just kind of like treat the area, and I let the dirt dry out a little bit for a while, so that the eggs wouldn't hatch as well and stuff like that. And you get them under control. You're still going to see one or two now and then. But for the most part, I've got them under control now. You know, I had them really bad for a while, man. I didn't know what to do about them. They just kept multiplying. They got really, really bad, and I literally had to trash an entire tent full of weed because they were just infested with these fucking gnats, and I couldn't get rid of them. And so I literally just tore out the fucking tent and, you know, started over again, you know, and still it's been a problem. Oh, I know. Yeah, those mites are so fucking tiny. It's like trying to read the child of a period. They're so small. They're like 1% of the size of a period on a piece of paper. So, yeah, you can't see them. You can't. Yeah, I mean, unless you got some really good eyes, and mine aren't that good anymore. Even with a loop, I wouldn't be able to identify it. I guess if I had to, I could take it to the local grow shop, take a leaf with me, you know, in a plastic bag or something, so it would infest them and see if they could identify it. You know, I wouldn't know what else to do. Like I said, I've only had mites. I'm not mites. I've only had those gnats, you know, and that was enough, man. That was really, oh God, they were just everywhere, you know. I got some of those little miniature bug zapper lights. Believe it or not, I thought this is a pretty natural way to deal with these things. They are flying insects, right? So I got these little bitty ones. They're about this fucking tall, you know, from China somewhere. And stuck those in the tents. I still got them down there. And they do kill them, you know. They do, the flying ones anyway. They do attract them and kill them, you know. So that was one of the things I did that was natural and didn't cause any, you know, insecticide problems, but was very effective at getting rid of the adult ones. And then, you know, you got to treat the dirt. You know, I did the diatomaceous earth for a while. I tried that shit. God, what a fucking disaster. So you put this powder on your dirt, and then you try to water it, and it turns into fucking paste. I tried the ground glass, you know, where you buy this really fine ground glass and you put it over the dirt and they cut themselves as the larvae hatch. I don't know how effective that was. It wasn't cheap, but I don't know how effective it was. So, yeah. It could be a bitch dealing with fucking, oh. So you bought some predators. What, you got praying mantis coming and stuff like that, or? Yeah, it's no good after it's wet. You're right. It turns into fucking just mud. You know, it's just like it's worthless. You can't use it more than one day because you got to water. You know, unless you bottom water the whole time or something. I don't know. But so the ground glass works a little bit better because it doesn't you know, dissolve into mush, but eventually it gets washed down into the dirt. So I don't know, man. You know, it's I've had people literally have to rip out all their shit and like bleach everything and like, you know, throw out all their dirt and start with new dirt. And I've had people just literally have to go, you know, hardcore, you know, fog the whole fucking area while it's tore down, literally put bug bombs down there for a month and just bomb the fuck out of the area before you put your plants in, you know. Uh, Cool. I think that's cool to use the predators, man. You know, I almost bought some praying mantis once because they will eat the larvae from those gnats. But I don't know, man. I just thought about the things getting out and ended up in my bedroom or some shit. You know, it's like, I mean, I'm bringing bugs into my house. You know, so I didn't get the praying mantis. You know, that was one of the ones I thought about, though. That's cool. Yeah. That kind of sucks though, man, you know, because it just wipes out a whole growth cycle for you usually, you know, and you got to deal with all the, you know, it's like getting bud rot. You know, I've never had that. I've never had that problem, but I've known people that have, and, you know, you end up like chopping most of it and throwing it away because it's got mildew and rot in it, and you can't smoke it. It's not safe. You won't get AIDS. Bear, you know, for the most part, I got to tell you, I think a lot of times I think I got my gnats from some Pro Mix that I bought. You know, I think it came in the soil. Another way you can get, pests is if you buy a clone or get a clone from somebody. I mean, you don't know. They may be infested and you get the clone at home and it's going to infest everything around it. So, I was real careful about like, I would sell and give away clones, but I really didn't take too many from other people unless I knew very much about how they grew. Rice holes on top. Yeah, it's like everything was dialed, then a curveball hits you. Yeah, you got everything running great, and you get harvest after harvest, and the quality's there, the quantity's there, the taste and flavor is just what you want. And then you're like, son of a bitch. So, yeah, I mean, there's times that, I always tell people, I think a lot of people think that growing this stuff is like easy. They get the whole idea that it's a weed. It's a fucking weed. Throw some seeds in the dirt and, booyah, you got weed, a couple of drops of BMC to the water and that kills them organically. Okay. See, yeah, that's what I love about this community. We sit and talk about this stuff, and people share what worked for them. I mean, there's, we all don't want to go out and start slavering DDT all over our shit, because for one thing, I ain't smoking it, and if I ain't smoking it, nobody else is gonna be able to, because I ain't gonna let them. So, I stay away from the chemicals. I try to find another way to deal with. That situations or whatever. Oh yeah, and Barrett, don't worry. There's a lot of, literally, there's a lot of things that you can do to control insects in your garden. One of the things that I'm very lacking is just keeping everything fucking clean. You know, and don't have buckets of water like feed water without aeration, because you're going to get that scum on top and you're going to have like mosquito larvae and everything else. So make sure your water's being aerated. If you're keeping like a feed bucket of water going, make sure it's aerated. Make sure it doesn't ever get still water. Like my water reservoir has a pump in it and it literally bubbles all the time. It's never still. I don't want the water to be still. So things like that, keep your grow area clean. Don't take clones from people you don't know what's going on with their grows. And if you're growing outside and you're growing inside, make sure you change your fucking clothes and wash your shit before you go back into your indoor garden from outside. Because that's where you get it from. I mean, that shit gets on your clothes and shit, and then you go inside and you brush up against your plants, and, that's another danger. If you're growing both outdoors and indoors and you're gardening both of them, you need to really isolate those two events. Yeah, I mean, literally, he's right. Shower even, literally, because what if you picked up some pollen out there from a male plant, half a mile away, I mean, who the fuck knows? And, you can pick up all kinds of like insect, gnats and shit on your clothes. And next thing you know, you bring it indoors, and then you're fucked. So, I mean, I've seen some of these greenhouses where they literally wear like white, like surgical, like, garb, head to toe. And they go through like a reverse, like what they call it, a negative air chamber where, all the air is drawn out. So that basically anything that's on your clothing is drawn away from it. I mean, those big grows, they can't afford to have that shit get into their greenhouse and wipe out, $250,000 worth of fucking weed. They can't afford it. So some of them get really, really technical. You have to change clothes when you get to work. You have to wear all this stuff. Yeah, they really are. They really are. So. Yeah, so we've been lucky on the pest situation for the most part. Like I said, gnats were the only problem we ever had, and I figured out for the most part how to deal with that one for the most part. And you reach your bowels eventually. So That's what's going on there. So anyway, we've been on this thing for about an hour and a half now, and only a couple people are talking. I don't know. Maybe we ought to wrap this thing up, But I'm glad everybody showed up. I'm glad you all hung out with us for a while, and partied a little bit, and you know, anybody have anything they want to say or anything, Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen video of them tearing the fuck out of a guy's illegal grow outside and shit. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, Missouri, we have legal medical grow and we have legal recreational purchase. So we finally got that last year, and so that's kind of cool, you know. Never thought I'd see it. Never thought in a million years that the states would finally have the balls to stand up to the federal government and say, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna regulate what the fuck our citizens do, and we don't give a fuck what you think about it." And Missouri was late to the game, but they got there. Man, there's still some states that ain't there yet, so I can't say that they're that late, but. So anyway, yeah, that's cool. That's all finished putting our guards to bed, and we'll do this again sometime soon. You'll see me pop up. Everybody out there that didn't say hi or whatever, well, I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad you had some time with us. I'm glad you smoked a few bowls and a little bit of grow talk. And I hope you all just have a great evening, and your gardens are doing great. And if they're not, that you fix it, and everything's great again for everybody. So. Let's close this out now, and remember, keep taking your medicine. Later, guys.